There is one question that has followed humanity since the beginning of time. Who am I really? At first, the answer seems simple. You could say your name, your profession, your age, your achievements, or even your likes and dislikes. But what if all of that were taken away? If there were no titles, no opinions from other people, and no expectations placed upon your shoulders, what would truly remain? The truth is that most people spend their entire lives trying to discover an identity that was never completely their own. They live following scripts written by family, society, culture, and social media without realizing that little by little, they are drifting away from their own essence. But there is a powerful question we must ask. Are we born with a finished identity, or do we build it throughout our lives? Imagine a sculpture being carved from a block of stone. In the beginning, there are infinite possibilities. Gradually, each strike of the sculptor's chisel removes pieces, reveals shapes, and creates a unique work of art. Our identity works in a very similar way. When we are born, we enter the world with certain biological tendencies, natural characteristics, and personality traits. However, much of what we call the self is molded by the experiences we live through, the words we hear, and the environments that surround us. A child who grows up hearing that they are intelligent may develop the confidence to explore the world. Another child who constantly hears that they are not enough may carry feelings of inadequacy for decades. The stories we tell ourselves become the bricks that build our identity. And the most fascinating part is that many of these stories were originally written by someone else. From our earliest years, we learn to see ourselves through the eyes of others. The approval of our parents, recognition from our friends, and acceptance by a group play an essential role in shaping our perception of who we are. This process is natural. After all, we are social beings. The problem begins when we become completely dependent on this external mirror to define our value. How many people choose a career only to please their families? How many hide their true thoughts because they are afraid of rejection? How many spend years playing a character they created just to be accepted? Over time, an identity built only to satisfy external expectations becomes an invisible prison. And perhaps one of the most liberating discoveries in life is realizing that you are not obligated to remain the same person you were yesterday. Identity is not a photograph. It is a movie that is constantly unfolding. Every book you read, every person you meet, every challenge you face, and every choice you make adds a new chapter to the story you tell yourself. Moments of crisis, although painful, often become the greatest catalysts for transformation. When a career ends, a relationship falls apart, or a lifelong dream disappears, it can feel as if we have lost a piece of ourselves. But perhaps the suffering comes from confusing what we had with who we were. You are not your job. You are not your past. You are not the worst mistake you have ever made, nor the greatest success you have ever achieved. Your identity is not a fixed treasure hidden somewhere inside you waiting to be discovered. It is a masterpiece under construction, shaped every day by the decisions you make. And this brings a powerful responsibility. If our choices shape who we become, then every small habit is also a vote for the person we are creating. When you choose to learn something new, you are becoming someone more curious. When you confront a fear, you are building courage. When you act with kindness, you are strengthening a more compassionate version of yourself. The future of your identity is hidden within the small actions you repeat when nobody is watching. However, in an age dominated by social media, building an authentic identity has become one of humanity's greatest challenges. Never before has it been so easy to compare our ordinary lives with the carefully edited versions of someone else's reality. We begin to chase images of success, beauty, and happiness that may not even represent what we truly desire. The question changes from, how do I want to live, to how do I want to be seen? And there is a tremendous difference between these two questions. One seeks a genuine life. The other seeks temporary approval. Maturity begins the moment we have the courage to question the stories we inherited. Which beliefs about yourself were truly chosen by you? Which fears actually belong to you? And which ones were learned? Which dreams are yours and which are merely attempts to fulfill the expectations of others? Knowing yourself is a journey that never truly ends. Perhaps the greatest mistake is believing that there is a perfect version of ourselves waiting somewhere to be found. Identity is not a final discovery, it is a continuous creation. Every day, through our thoughts, actions, and decisions, we pick up the chisel once again and continue sculpting who we are. The most important question is not, who am I? But rather, who am I becoming with every decision I make? Because in the end, our identity will not be defined by what the world expected us to be. It will be written by the courage we had to consciously build our own story.